So, Nakamoto Crypto here. Don't forget to like and subscribe. So, Coffee uncovered some crazy stuff about Celsius, which pretty much is allegedly what Do Kwon did. Is also allegedly what Celsius was doing, taking money out before the Ponzi collapses. So, they knew where this was headed. Stay tuned. Once again, like and subscribe. Let's watch this video together. Shout out to CofeeZilla.
Do we witness a fall from grace so quick, so complete, that someone goes from being beloved to a con man in the eyes of the public overnight? And from the outside looking in, it's strange because every single thing that person has ever said or done is suddenly cast in a new, much more sinister light. The only comparison I can really think of is Jared Fogle from Subway. I mean, all those times he took his pants off and paraded them in front of the children. How did we not see this as a sign? It's like looking at one of those white and gold dress optical illusions. Suddenly you see it as, black and blue. And you wonder, with this sudden shift, it's so quick that you're like, how did I ever see it any differently? And that's what we're talking about today, but with a scam artist, Alex Mashinsky, because he's not in trouble for the same reasons Jared Fogle was, but he did screw over a lot of people he shouldn't. Now, you may know Alex Mashinsky because we've talked about him on this program. He's the former CEO of Celsius, and I'm not going to cover everything he did because we already have talked about it extensively. However, there's a lot of new news to cover. For one, Alex Mashinsky stepped down as the CEO. For two, we found out they owed billions of dollars more than we thought they did. Three, we know the customer funds are still frozen, but the real new evidence coming out that, in my view, takes Alex Mashinsky from being a slick salesman who, basically overpromised to being a full-blown criminal who should be in jail, it just recently happened. Although I need to make a disclaimer that this is, of course, my opinion that he's a criminal. He has not been formally charged, although I think a lot of you will share my view once I get through explaining this.
Not formally charged, but then, how do you explain him losing billions of customers' funds and also trying to literally flee the United States to border a flight to Israel? How do you explain that? He tried to flee because he knew he did something wrong. Well, come on.
Here's how it happened. 4 days ago, we got a report from the Financial Times, a scoop that Alex Mashinsky may have withdrawn $10 million off Celsius ahead of freezing customer accounts and ahead of the bankruptcy. This obviously would be very significant and very suspicious, but of course, I wanted to wait until this was confirmed by formal bankruptcy documents, and it was. In bankruptcy court, Celsius was required to disclose what their executives did leading up to bankruptcy. And what we found is that in the month of May, the month before they froze withdrawals and declared bankruptcy, Alex Mashinsky and other key executives in Celsius withdrew nearly $17 million from this platform. Alex himself withdrew $10 million of that. Chrissy, his wife, withdrew $2 million. Remember, she's the one who said, unbankrupt yourself, and sold shirts to that effect, which is a level of irony that I simply do not have the time to unpack right now. But suffice to say, other executives also withdrew another $5 million. Now, okay, why is this criminal? Why can't they withdraw?
They were playing tic-tac-toe with your money before even the whole thing collapsed. It's like they knew, bro. Come on. It's a Ponzi. It was a Ponzi in the first place. It was designed to be a Ponzi. That's why I don't trust none of these Celsius, BlockFi, or we're going to pay you 20% APY or 50% at 1,000, whatever. If they promises you high APYs to the point where you have to question where this money is going to come from, you should be highly skeptical of all of these, we want to be bank type crypto projects, and they're all falling apart one by one. Ironic.
Withdraw all this money from their own platform. Well, think about it. Celsius's whole problem was that it was suffering from a bank run. Too many people were withdrawing too fast, and instead of acting as the captain going down with the ship, Alex Mashinsky instead basically did the analogy equivalent of jumping in a lifeboat. But what's worse, he actually did this while deliberately lying to the people on the boat and told them that everything's fine in order to ensure his own safety and ensure that he had a lifeboat to even get on. Because, as the analogy goes, lifeboats were in short supply. They didn't have the money. But let's dig deeper than that, because if we look at the bankruptcy filings, we can get an entire history of Alex Mashinsky's transactions, which is important to prove motive. After all, if he was always withdrawing funds, it wouldn't be anything out of the ordinary. But as you can see on this fourth column, which is type, incoming or outgoing from Celsius, Mashinsky's pattern was that he only really sent money to Celsius and did keep most of his money there on platform, which is consistent through 2021 and early 2022 until March 17th, when Mashinsky starts his first outgoing withdrawals from the platform. Now, at first, it's only $100,000. However, this pattern drastically changes once again in May after the Luna crash, when the markets are in turmoil and Celsius realizes they're insolvent. Now, to understand the true scumbaggery of...
Did you hear that allegedly, like, after Luna collapsed, there was a rumor circulating around, and I've covered this somewhere in my Celsius video. Go back and watch my Celsius videos right after it went down, right? There was a rumor circulating around that Celsius had lost millions of dollars, and they were invested into Luna. Yeah, you can bet on that.
Of this whole thing, let me show you what Alex was saying publicly before I show you what he was doing privately.
And I continue to hodl. It's not like I've changed my position. I didn't sell my Bitcoin. I didn't sell my Ethereum. It's not like one of us is smarter than everybody else and they're sitting on the sidelines while the rest of us are taking a beating.
Now look, there is a lot here to unpack, from the phone number on screen 1866 HODL now, to his shirt saying that banks are not your friends, to his incredibly strong claim that he's not secretly selling. In fact, he's buying. He's bullish, right? You should be bullish too. All of this, to a reasonable investor, conveys the idea that we're all in this together. This is some choppy water, but we're going to get through it, right? Don't head for the life rafts. It's fine. There's no iceberg ahead. Now, with that in mind, I want you to now look at what he was doing a day after this, on May 14th.
Why should you use Miro? Well, when you draw on a whiteboard, no one sees it. With Miro, you plan together.
He was privately withdrawing nearly all his crypto from the platform, $10 million in Bitcoin, USDC, and Ethereum. He jumped on the lifeboat and left. This honestly borderlines on the psychopathic or sociopathic. I do not know how you can sit on stage and speak to a community of your investors.
Oh yeah, you best bet that any investment that you're involved in, right? The project founders, once the bridge burns and if that investor turns out to be bogus, if the bridge is burning, you best believe that the founders and the early promoters or whoever surrounded with that, who have access to the funds, they're going to take their money out first while the bridge is burned, and they're going to jump off with their lifeboat first and leave you on top of that bridge. So just be cautious with investments like that. It happened so many times in crypto. It's countless now.
Of your customers, and just dead lie to them and do the opposite behind the scenes. But maybe some of you think, well, that was a day later. Maybe he changed his mind just 24 hours later. But there's actually proof that no, that's not true. He was deliberately lying, because we're going to look at what Alex said only a few days after jumping ship, right? So we're looking at before he jumped ship and after. This is from May 20th, and it is staggering.
Keep thinking that, okay, we say one thing and we do something else. We all still have most of our coins, right? We didn't sell, we didn't bail out, we didn't go and look for another job. We're in it for the long term. As Nook said, we've done several of these winters, and we're still going to be here in several years from now.
I don't know what to say. I'm blown away. Alex Mashinsky is saying in black and white that, we're not saying one thing and doing another. We're doing exactly what we want you to do. We're hodling, right? We're not bailing out, even though that's exactly what he actually did. This man is a master of lying through his teeth. And what this all shows is that there is strong evidence that Alex knew Celsius wasn't going to be around in several years, even though he said he thought it was. Because if you thought your company was going to be around in 7 years or several years, the last thing you would do is withdraw, because Celsius's entire problem, remember, is immediate liquidity. They didn't have enough money on hand. So if Alex truly thought and believed what he said he did, which is that it was going to last several years, the last thing you would do is withdraw critical funds exactly when you need them. So this fact that he was secretly withdrawing means that he knew he was lying to investors, and the company was about to go under for good, and he was trying to save himself. I mean, I'm pretty sure he didn't even call 1-866 HODL now. Okay, that's bad joke. But on a serious note, this just made me so angry that I decided I wanted to help. And I wanted to use these exact transactions and transfers in order to try to correlate them to on-chain transfers and figure out where the money went in hopes that we could maybe salvage some of it. And I'll tell you, even though I was unable to find Alex Mashinsky's specific wallets, I do have some good news, which is that I found his wife, Chrissy Mashinsky's wallets. Let me explain. I cross-referenced Chrissy Mashinsky's May 31st withdrawal of 2.4 million Celsius tokens against all of Celsius's hot wallets and found that on that day, there's only one similar transaction within 10 Celsius tokens. If you trace where this went, it goes to a wallet which already is associated with Alex Mashinsky. Mashinsky literally funded it with Ethereum initially, and this is where $2.7 million worth of Celsius tokens went. Bear in mind, it's important, this is only days before they froze withdrawals, showing that they wanted to get money off platform. And although it hasn't been sold yet, it can be sold at any time. And the reason I'm sharing this wallet publicly is I want to recommend that this is basically claimed by the bankruptcy court or seized because it's very likely that it will be sold by the Mashinskys with upcoming pressure increasing. Now, I will link this wallet in the description so it can be publicly watched and tracked by law enforcement or just anyone who's interested. I will also add the Mashinsky wallets that I've publicly labeled along with.
That's crazy, man. Shout out to cofeezilla. This is the definition. You know, remember that meme way back in 2010 or 2011 that hide your kids, hide your wife? This is like save your kids, save your wife kind of thing, bro. Like, yeah, that's what they did. And it was obvious. Where did you think your money was going? Stop giving your money to these third-party middleman custody kind of crappy cryptocurrency platforms because they promise you 20% APY, or I don't care if it's 50% a year, you know, just, I don't know, be cautious with them because they charlatans. They came and promised that they were legitimate, but this is different. This is not some DeFi projects. This is Celsius Network. They were highly established altcoin with, you know, millions of people backing them, millions of dollars in funds. They managed to lose people money like that. It's just crazy. And they wonder why the banks and the gigantic institutions are coming in looking at them funny. BlackRock and them allegedly took down Celsius institutions, bro, because they figured if you're going to be playing this little crypto game, we have more money than you. We're going to do it even better. We can pump and dump on you easy. That's exactly what Elon Musk did to the whole Dogecoin community and everybody, but getting sued right now. Elon was a great thing for Doge and also crypto. He took it to mass adoption, but then again, he took profits. I think he allegedly, you know, made a little bread with Tesla had pretty much no name, but it was non-existent before Elon jumped into Dogecoin. So from 2020 to 2021, all Elon did was boost his name up and his popularity up by adopting a meme coin that no one cares about, and he made a ton load of money with it. That's just the power and the sharpness of these people. I'm studying them and I'm looking at them. I'm like, these institutions are way too smart for this, bro. If it's like you asked, you got what you prayed for. Institutional mass adoption. This was what we was crying about back in 2018. No institutional money in crypto, mass adoption. We need this, we need that. But then they came in and they ran with the bag. Collapsed Luna, allegedly, with BlackRock and them. And then you're watching companies like Celsius, instead of holding on strong and beating the banks, they became the laughing stock of everything, man. And that's the saddest part. Even if you look at El Salvador, the first country to ever adopt Bitcoin in crypto, becoming the laughing stock right now. IMF looking at them like, yeah, you 90% down on your investment, and What are you gonna do now? Ha ha ha, we told you Bitcoin was not to be used as legal tender. You know, this crypto is full of stuff like that, man. It's a constant battle between the higher ups and the little guys. Unfortunately, one hand always gets the upper hand. One always wins and the other one fails. They have a way to humiliate. It almost seems like humiliation ritual, but with the collapses of Luna and Celsius, and then institutions are making a mockery of El Salvador, and that the likes of those countries that adopted Bitcoin is like every bear market is a humiliation ritual. But here's the beauty: crypto always bounces back. It always happens. Always bounces back. I haven't seen a single time in a bear market where news haven't come out that Bitcoin has died, and Bitcoin has died so many times in a bear market. No one cares about it in a bear market. But then when it starts pumping, they're all quiet now. They don't want to say anything. That was Celsius. Next time you see high APYs, just don't ape in, especially if it's some layer ones that you highly question, where is this APY coming from? These yields that they generate to pay people just by you giving them your crypto and they custody it for you. Where does it come from? You know, Grayscale doesn't do that. Grayscale hold billions of dollars in crypto of people's funds, but they never tell you, hey, this is how much we promise to pay you, these high yields and all of this other stuff. You know, that's just crazy, man. If you a crypto project and you're planning to be a bank, there's a lot of work need to be done in the background other than just promising people what you can't afford to pay them. With that being said, like up the video, share it, subscribe for some crypto content. I have been Mr. Nakamoto Crypto, and I'm out.